Welcome to my home and Merry Christmas to all of you. I can't wait to give you a tour of my rustic Canadian home. I hope it gives you just a little bit of holiday joy and maybe sparks some ideas that you can use in your own home. A number of months ago, I had a viewer suggest that I do a home tour for this channel. We custom built our home only a few years ago and we have a large family. So this viewer was really curious about the layout and just how we designed certain features. And I got thinking to myself, why don't I combine a home tour with Christmas? So we're gonna do a holiday home tour today. My kids, my husband and I have got this place completely decked out for the holidays and I can't wait for you to join me. We're gonna start with the very crafty, kid-focused tree right behind me. We have several Christmas trees in our home, as you're about to see, but this one is perhaps my favorite because it really is just free reign for the kids to decorate however they want. And this family room tree is a real tree. We go to a local Christmas tree farm and cut it down ourselves. We normally get a spruce or a balsam as our Christmas tree, but the guy who owned the tree farm did mention to us that the Scotch pines actually keep their needles longer and don't shed near so much as the other kinds. So we thought we'd give it a try this year. It makes for a very kind of puffy, full tree, I will say, and it is a little harder to get the ornaments on than the spruce is, but I actually feel like it has kind of like a 50s vibe to it. My mother-in-law does something really special for the kids every year in that she gets them each their own ornament every single year for Christmas. So by the time they leave the nest, they're gonna have quite a collection of ornaments to start off on their own home. And this is also our tree where we put ornaments from places we've traveled. So I've collected different ornaments from Yellowstone or Florida, Disney World, places we've gone that I like to remember and put on my Christmas tree. Especially this year when we can't travel anywhere, it's nice to have those memories on our tree. This room is definitely on my list to revamp and add a fireplace down the road sometime soon, hopefully. But for now, we have this wall unit from IKEA. And it has served our family well. And at Christmas time, it gets a whole huge makeover. So we have little crafty snowmen that my children have made at their library craft program. Another thing I like to do is I have a Christmas scrapbook. And every year I add 2 new pages in of a few of our special Christmas pictures as well as our Christmas card. It's just a really neat memory to have. So this particular one is 13 years old. And you'll just see here, there's some really cutie pictures of some of my kids when they were little and their first Christmases. It's just one of my favorite things to have out on our shelf. We have a number of nativity scenes in our home that are breakable, but this is my kids' favorite. It's a Melissa and Doug set. If I can find it online, I will link it for you below. It's just a really fun nativity set that the kids can play with, and then they're not tempted to play with the more special breakable ones. At the holiday time, I also take all of our books off of these shelves that are just regular books, and we put out only our Christmas books. And actually, I keep these Christmas books in storage the whole rest of the year besides Christmas so that the kids haven't read them the whole rest of the year. And that way they're just special. They're special every Christmas when they come out. It's like brand new. Some of my favorites here are the Huron Carol, which if you've watched this channel before, you likely know that 4 of my adopted children are Indigenous. So this is a very special book for our family. And also some classics that I remember reading as a kid. The Berenstain Bear Christmas Tree one is such a good book, and I definitely invested in a hardcover copy for our family, as well as How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But one of our most recent additions was this version of Good King Wenceslas, and it's actually my son's favorite book right now for Christmas. It has incredible art, and he will just sit and read and look at the pictures over and over again. So I will also link some of these books below. And another tradition I started many years ago was each Christmas to frame a photograph or 2 or 3 from that year, and I display them. So maybe my bookshelf looks like an eclectic mess to some outside viewers, but it's really special and it's full of memories for our family. Does anybody watch DVDs anymore as opposed to streaming services? We do have a number of Christmas DVDs because a lot of these aren't available on streaming services actually. So just like our Christmas books, the Christmas DVDs are packed packed away the whole rest of the year and they only come out at Christmas. Today I am watching an Avonlea Christmas. If you are a Canadian who grew up in the 80s like I did, you will know all about Road to Avonlea, and this is one of my favorite Christmas DVDs to pull out again and again every year. And who of you guys likes to puzzle? We definitely like to puzzle during Christmas time. We just did this one up this weekend when we put our tree up. It's a really simple 300 piece that also sparkles. I'm not sure if the camera can pick up the sparkles, but one of the most important aspects of puzzling for our family is this puzzle store that we have. It has been a lifesaver for our family. So you actually can sort your puzzle pieces in all of these compartments, and then when you want to put it away, so maybe you're half done the puzzle but you are having a Christmas party and you don't want it out on the table, you simply slide the puzzle over, close the top, it all snaps in place, and you can either store it horizontally under a couch or vertically behind something, behind a shelf or a couch as well, and it's out of sight, and then you can pull it back out when you're ready to go. Moving on to the kitchen, this is my view out my kitchen window today. What a gorgeous snowy day here in Ontario. I just love these days where the snow is just kind of like hanging off of the evergreen boughs. If you watched my previous video on budget decorating for Christmas, you'll recognize a lot of the things in my kitchen today. The link for that video is in the description box below. I'm planning on doing some Christmas cooking and baking later this afternoon, a Christmas brunch casserole and peanut butter cornflake cookies. So it's just a really nice atmosphere in here. It's simple, it's not overly decorated, but it gives me that hint of joy. Now I want to give you all a tour of my mudroom. So this is probably one of the most important rooms of the house. It's a real workhorse. What we did is we had custom built shelving made for this space that fit this space exactly. And we made a cubby for each and every child. So in each cubby, they have a basket for their hats and mitts, which really come in handy this time of year, as well as a cupboard above for off-season storage. And then we have several double hooks in each one. So there is the capacity here for each child to hang up 6 things. So whether that's snow pants, coats, backpacks, masks, there is lots of hanging space, and below is room for boots and shoes. So this just helps everything stay neat and tidy in the mudroom. I firmly believe in that motto, a place for everything and everything in its place. It really helps our family stay organized, especially this time of year. And when I designed it, I also included, like in this little corner, we have 6 more hooks for family or cousins who are visiting, or in this case, my husband's coveralls from work. And I also have a couple registers in here, and on them we have the cone dryers. Do you guys have these? I had them as a kid growing up, and I definitely bought them for my kids. Just a really handy place to dry your mitts and hats, and even boots you can flip over upside down on top of them. It really helps dry things quickly. And some of the Christmas touches in this room, you can see here, this is just a little cute tin holder I got at a garage sale for really cheap, and inside is going to hold all of our Christmas and holiday cards from the year. I think I only have one here right now from my neighbor Tina. Thank you, Tina, it's a lovely card, and I can't wait to fill it up with messages from our friends this year. And above, this is a little sign from one of my favorite Christmas carols that my kids got me for Christmas 2 years ago, and I just love it, and the mudroom is the perfect spot to hang it because I see it right when I walk in the door from the garage every day. And you'll see here, I'll give you a glimpse in a little bit of our exterior decorations, but you can see here that our hanging wreaths on the windows actually also add quite a hit of decor and loveliness to the inside of the house. So they kind of do double duty, and I just love how they look, just a simple green wreath with a red ribbon. In my dining room as well, you would have seen this on my previous video if you watched that. Our couch and buffet is decorated on the top with some garland, some berries to evoke a feeling of Christmas feasting and lights. And I displayed some of our Christmas plates and platters so that they're at the ready to be used. Our centerpiece is our Advent wreath, and all month long in December, we light the appropriate candle and read a little verse to remind us about what this season is all about. And I've got my chalkboard art over here that I change seasonally, and this is my message for 2020. And off of our dining room, we have a music room. I'm not sure if I have mentioned this to any of you before or if you as viewers know this, but I play piano and my husband plays guitar, and we are a bit of a musical family. actually coming up on Christmas Eve. I am planning a really special video where you're going to get to perhaps hear this piano be played by myself, so stay tuned for that. On top of our piano, I have decorations that I've had for years and years and years. Just some themed snow globes, a Christmas village that I've had a lot of these since I think I was a teenager that I got for Christmas from different people. But my favorite part above the piano is likely our Victorian Advent house. I got this at Bronner's Christmas store in Frankenmuth a number of years ago. One of the pictures in our living room is actually my daughter at Bronner's checking out their nativity scenes and just her jaw dropping in awe of how beautiful it is. And I just had a wonderful Christmas shopping experience there with my girls that year. And this was the one thing I bought and brought home. It's just a little more meaningful to me than going to the store and buying the chocolate advent calendar that you just throw out every year. This one will last probably for generations. It's really well made. Every single door is wooden and it just really looks beautiful and cute when you open them and reveal the treats that are inside. In our front entryway, we have kind of a curved old-fashioned staircase, and I know that my staircase is not the latest style. A lot of people are going for the wrought iron look or the more modern like glass railings these days. But I chose to do a wooden railing that to me evoked a feeling of like the 1800s. I really wanted a historical farmhouse looking entryway, so that's what we did. And in keeping with that theme, I specifically remember when we had our electricians coming in that I wanted them to wire the curved wall with an outlet so that I could always have a Christmas tree right there in the front entrance when people enter the house every single Christmas. A little hack here is that we put our Christmas tree up on a table to make it higher and taller. This was a cheaper option for me than having to go out and buy a really tall Christmas tree. This Christmas tree is 17 years old. It is not a pre-lit tree, but it still does the job. We just string lights ourselves on it. And in the entryway, I did choose the white lights. Now, which are you? Are you a colored light person or a white light person? I used to be strictly white lights, but now that my kids are getting older, I can see the magic in those colored lights. So that's why our family Christmas tree is strung with the colored LED lights, as well as our backyard or big spruce trees. We have colored lights on those as well. Our tree is themed to a rustic Canadiana indigenous theme. I love all of our wooden ornaments. They're very special to us, as well as things that pay honor to the past of my children who are Cree. And because I don't have that fireplace yet, we hang the kids' stockings from the railing garland. A way to save money, I think, on any Christmas decorating is to use ornaments that are free to you, found ornaments, retro ornaments, and that's exactly what these are. Most of these ornaments are wooden ornaments my aunts made when I was a little girl. So that's how we have decorated our garland here. In each of our kids' stockings, we just have jewel tones, so they each have a different color of stocking. Moving upstairs, we have a lot of bedrooms, and some of the kids choose to decorate them and some of them don't. So I did want to show you, my youngest daughter has a room that's a very girly, it's a purple pink room. She loves to decorate, and of course she needs a little pink Christmas tree. So this is a hand-me-down Christmas tree. It was my cousin's tree when she was little, but if she ever has a girl, then she's gonna want this tree back. And I say, why not? Why not lend and loan? Why go out and buy brand new stuff for your house if it's something that you may only be using for a time? I think it's really great for our environment to reuse, recycle. My daughter can get joy out of this tree that is 20 years old, and then it can be passed on to somebody else when she's older as well. And then my 14-year-old, she really loves to decorate. She's a very crafty person, so she's got out her Santa Beanie Boo. She has decorated her shelf above her bed with some battery-powered LED lights and crafts she has made over the years, along with cards she's received. I wanted to point out this wall of her bedroom. When we're talking about house design, if you're building a house, sometimes you get into a tricky situation with stairways. So in our case, we do have a third level, an attic level. That's where my recording studio is. So there is a stairway that goes up there, and we wanted to be able to use that space in her room somehow. So what we did is, underneath the part of the stairway that's the highest, we put a closet. So in there is her dresser and some hanging rods. And then we did custom built-ins under the rest of the steps so that she could still have some shelving and drawers in that dead space. And it's worked out very well. I really, really believe in using every square inch of your home if you're building or renovating that is extra for storage. And that way she doesn't have to have a dresser out in her room taking up space. And then she changes out her photo board in her room seasonally. So she's got all her winter photos out. It's just a fun thing for kids to be able to do. We have 2 kids' bathrooms in our house. I know this might seem excessive to some, but we have 6 children. So 3 share one bathroom and 3 share another. And bathrooms can sometimes be a place that we forget to decorate for the holidays or for the seasons. So I just like to take down some of the artwork and summery stuff that was in here and put up something wintry, classic, Christmassy that they can enjoy even when they're using the washroom this season. And my bedroom is a little bit of a retreat. This is a spot where when you have 6 kids, I mean, you need somewhere you can go that you can just sit and read a book. For me, that meant something that was a little bigger than maybe your average size bedroom. So we did this bedroom above our garage, which meant it could have a nice vaulted ceiling. My uncle did an incredible job on the woodwork in the ceiling in this room. We are so happy with it. And no matter what the season is, I just love the look of it. At Christmas time especially, I think there's something really fun about the fact that our bed is a sleigh bed. And I like to do it up with some Christmassy looking pillows. You can maybe see that I have some red flannel sheets peeking through there. It's nice in Canada to have warm flannel sheets at night. It can get cold. And I especially love being able to sit in bed, turn on the fireplace, and see that across the room from me. Or conversely, I love to sit in front of my fireplace that has been all decorated cozy for winter and Christmas. And I like to sit in that chair and look across at my lit wreaths and my windows. It just adds a sense of beauty, peace, and calm to the space. So when I was decorating my fireplace, I really was keeping that cozy comfort in mind, which is why I included Christmas books to read, some nice candles to light, some Christmassy fun pictures of Andrew and I. I have a storage trunk that's an old steamer trunk. My mom passed on all of her back issues of Magnolia, the magazine, and it was like Christmas morning when she gave these to me. I am a gift person, and to me it does not matter if you went out to the store and bought something for me or not. Literally getting something like hand-me-down magazine back issues is amazing. So I can't wait to sit down and read this old Christmas issue of Magnolia. And then moving outside to our front porch, I've noticed in our neighborhood this year that people seem to be just going all out with their decorations, and I think that's because this year we're not going to be able to gather in people's homes the same as we would have. So people are decorating outsides of their homes so that when you go out for a walk or out for a drive, it brings you that extra bit of cheer. So I'm really glad that I put lots of decorations on our front porch this year, including this retro nativity scene that my grandpa and my aunt made over 25 years ago. Some decorated porch swings or lit wreaths, and of course greenery arrangements. Sometimes we forget about our basements or rec rooms, and I like to create a little bit of fun down here. So I found this neat Ontario sign at Walmart. Obviously this can be used all year round, not just at Christmas, but it does have a button on there that I can light it up for the Christmas season. And it just reminds me of how much I love being a Canadian. I love that Ontario is my home. And propped up on the shelves above my steps is a little Noel sign that I made at a ladies' craft night. I just love the tiny gold clothespins, and every year I change what I put on there. So this year I have some greenery and a little saying from a Lauren Daigle song that I love. It's just something fun to see as I'm walking up and down those steps, sometimes a million times a day, going to the fruit cellar and the freezer to prep food for the holidays. I think the stair landing is also kind of a fun place to put a few different Christmas decorations. These ones were very low cost, so this little heart-shaped box was something I received a gift in, and I just kept it because I liked the look of the gift box. And don't we all need this message this year to just believe? And the little red pail here also was something I got a gift in, and I kept the packaging. Instead of putting in the recycling or the garbage, I just kept it, and I put my little fake boxwood plants inside that I normally have up on my kitchen shelves. And I just think it gives a hint of nice red and green to this space. As you're going down the stairs, I have a wooden sign hanging from my newel post. Again, this was, I think, a free garage sale find where it was like, okay, just take this, I don't want it anymore. And I think it just gives that newel post a little bit of a North Pole vibe. And the last thing I did in our rec room itself was to pop some winter or Christmas themed stuffies in the windows. When we built our home in our basement, we used insulated concrete as the walls. It's just a really great way to get a lot of extra efficiency in your home. So that means extra wide window wells. So you gotta use that, you guys, right? Whether that's for plants or whatever you wanna put in it. In this case, it's stuffed animals. So I've got our sparkly Christmas moose, as well as a little skiing deer here, and my very favorite, which is a little sheep shepherd nativity guy. And this is something that the kids just like to see when they come down and play, and I'm happy to make the space more festive for them. And last but not least, this is maybe the most important part of Christmas decorating, I think, in any home, and that is where y'all gonna hang your mistletoe. We have more of a kissing ball, I would call it. It's not so much the traditional mistletoe, but it hangs in the archway between our kitchen and living room. So I can see it clearly when I'm in there baking, that anytime one of my kids is happened to be standing under it, I can quick run over and give them a smooch on the cheek. And that was my Christmas house tour, you all. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it maybe gave you some ideas for what you can do in your own home. If you're interested in more of my holiday or decorating videos, please find those links right to the side of me. Have a beautiful Christmas, you guys. For the least, this is Jen.